what do you think the story is?
I mean, I basically think it's real. We see it being filmed, and I think it potentially moves. I mean, it's not always in the same spot, maybe.
Okay.
You know, because like it was a whole, basically the whole theory too, where Randy Orton burned down the Wyatt compound, and then all of a sudden it was that at the time when it was the Wyatt family, what was it, Sister Abigail, and basically thought that the remains of that were destroyed, and it turned out she was still there, or some,
Yeah.
It always seems like whatever, be it just Bray Wyatt, Wyatt family, whatever the concept is at the time, it always seems to pop back. So, yeah, I think potentially they think they destroyed it in one place, but they just move it someplace else.
I do like the idea of it being a non-real place and that he's just playing these mind games.
Well, I mean, you could argue it both ways, because they've even had, episodes in the past too, where it's like they're technically fighting. I think the one time it was New Day versus the Wyatt family at the Wyatt compound, and the way it was being filmed actually looked like it was going on in somebody's thought, in somebody's head. The way things were flashing and
the reason that happened and it looked the way it did is because of the TNA match at the time between Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy.
Oh, Broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Nero and Broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, what the hell was his? He had a separate place too, right? Broken Matt Hardy, where it was
yeah, he had a compound kind of thing.
Delete mode. And,
and they filmed it there, and it was it was very similar to the
Ultimate Deletion,
the Bray Wyatt family compound. It was almost exactly the same, but it was before. So WWE really ripped them off if we're, accusing someone of ripping someone off. But I love the idea of it not being a real place and it being all in Bray Wyatt's head like a disease, and he can spread that disease, and now other people have the ability to see what he sees. So basically to take Bray Wyatt's line, Seth Rollins let him in.
Yeah.
All right. Another thing quickly while we're on Bray Wyatt. Sister Abigail. Are we going to get to meet who Sister Abigail is?
I would hope at some point. It's only been, 3 fucking years?
The theory that I had heard for who it would be Liv Morgan. She makes, according to the theory that I read, she makes the most sense because she's already kind of fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. I remember back a few years ago they were making the argument that could potentially be Paige. Not now. I mean,
Paige would have made sense.
Yeah, maybe Nikki Cross, but outside of that, it's got to be one of
Sarah Logan would make a lot of sense too.
Yeah, you could even make the argument for Sonya Deville or one of the brunette.
Well, I mean, only because she has the brown hair. I don't feel like
right.
her persona fits in with what Bray Wyatt would be dedicating his life to.
Right.
Is what it essentially is. Sister Abigail, or does Sister Abigail even exist at all? Is Sister Abigail the unattainable thing that he's trying to achieve, like acceptance from parents or something like that, from a disappointment child? Is there actually even an Abigail, or is it just something he's created to chase after, to achieve perfection that he just will never get?
Right. Again,
we should be fucking writing for WWE.
Yeah, I think we could. At some point, we could cut to the chase, definitely, because I'd like to know one way or the other.
What I would do with the Bray Wyatt character, okay? I would not have had him go straight after Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had him go after, Curtis Axel. Beat the shit out of Curtis Axel, too. Maybe 3 times. Curtis Axel, amp himself up. I can beat him. I can beat the Fiend. I can do it. And just every attempt he has just falls short. And then at one point, he just says something to himself I can't do it. I can't beat him.
I think it's
and then Bray Wyatt grabs him by the face. He's like, "This can all stop. Just let me in." And then it goes black, and that's the end of that. And then a week later, we come back to Firefly Funhouse. Boom! Curtis Axel in a fucking sweater just like him. And he starts the cult over again. Could have worked with Finn Balor. It could work with a guy like Curtis Axel. There's a lot of people it could work with. You just can't take a top star yet.
It'd work with Finn Balor because it could be the whole demon appeal versus
right.
the Fiend.
Right.
At which, I mean, at some point, maybe you lead into that, like, you know, that's how you take them out. Have it, the demon face the Fiend.
Right.
But until then, I get your point. Like, okay, how's he gonna like manipulate different superstars like one at a time? But you're right. I don't agree with them going after Seth Rollins with that matchup.
He should be building himself as like this unstoppable cult leader.
Yeah, like start with somebody from NXT, go up from there. You know.
Yeah, I mean, people that it could make sense based on their character. Finn Balor, could be Finn Balor, could be, like I said, Curtis Axel. The best two to go after, well, maybe not anymore, one of them. But if this came out like, I don't know, 8 months ago, Baron Corbin, long-haired Baron Corbin, hell yeah. But
I mean,
the one that makes the most sense, Aleister Black.
Yeah. Anybody with the whole gothic appeal would work.
Yep.
You could even argue Drew McIntyre.
You could. You could.
Or you could even argue, you know, he's going to go to NXT and recruit a whole bunch of people like it was when it was the Nexus.
I feel like you need something bigger, though. So, like, Finn Balor would be good. Baron Corbin would be good.
Finn Balor would be good as the end result of the whole thing. Like, you got to put him as, like, the guy that's going to, you know, potentially take it down. Up until then, he's, you know, bullying, recruiting, whatever.
Right. And don't do, like, that bullshit like you had with Daniel Bryan being part of the Wyatt family. You have to get people who are going to 100% buy in.
Yeah, Randy Orton, that was kind of lame.
Yeah. So, get guys that are going to appear in the Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse sweater with the tie and all that. And when they come out to the ring, they do all his dirty work, and he stays this pleasant guy until the Fiend has to come out. I feel like it could be done so much better, could be so much bigger than it is.
That's I guess, why we don't write for the company.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyways, we've spent way too much time on Bray Wyatt, on what could happen, should happen, yada, yada, yada. What will happen, I think Bray Wyatt wins in the Firefly Funhouse.
Same here. Yep. Next one we got, Braun Strowman's going to face Tyson Fury. I mean, I guess I could see Braun Strowman standing a chance if he can just absorb punches, if that's possible. Like,
they book him to lose so much in these big matches.
I mean, he's a big dude, but at the same time,
Tyson Fury's a legit monster.
Yeah. I could actually see... I'll take a bold prediction at this. I see it just being like... They won't even have a match. They're just going to, like, start hitting on each other.
So you think they're going to have to be separated and the match never even starts?
I think it'll be this crazy thing, like, where they just go off on each other, and, like, then the rest of the show just goes on, and, like, they spend the night, like, just chasing each other through the arena. And then, like, once it goes off the air, it'll be like, oh, these guys are still fighting.
Okay.
I just don't see, like, to me, that's just a lousy booking. That's lousy writing. I don't really see, like, I mean, I get, like, they're putting this, you know, a pro fighter up against a big guy, but I don't see it. I don't see how it makes sense. You got a different light on it?
Part of me says, well, Braun Strowman's got the advantage because it's not real fighting, it's professional wrestling. So the logical one in me says, well, Braun Strowman has the advantage because they should write him that way because he's the wrestler, not the fighter. The other logical part of me says they fuck him over in big matches and big spots. They're going to put Tyson Fury over. Mm-hmm. So that's my pick. Tyson Fury wins.
Okay. As I said, I just take that whole, I take the whole, nonsense approach. I don't think either one really wins.
Personally, I would rather see them switch. I'd rather see Cain Velasquez and Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury and Brock Lesnar. I know they've got Velasquez and Lesnar because, well, they've fought each other for real before. So it makes sense. But, I don't know.
No, that one should be interesting. I really can't predict if it's going to be a long match, a short match.
Even if it's going to be a match.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was number 3. Next one we have Ric Flair's team versus Hulk Hogan's team.
Oh my God. So you got the fucking raging drunk versus the druggy racist.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ric Flair's team would have the advantage here.
I mean, who's on what team, though?
That's why I'm looking up as of now.
I know it's like a random-ass fucking assortment. And that's the thing that I hate about Survivor Series. A lot of times, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. You know?
Yeah.
Like, why am I going to believe that having fucking Ricochet and Roman Reigns and I don't remember who else is on Team Hogan, like that, they're just all of a sudden gonna, want to fight these other people. I would rather there be a natural connection between teams. Even if you're gonna throw people together based on all right, so here's this group of Samoan bad people, like Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, the Usos. They've all been causing destruction. Mm-hmm. Or the League of Nations back when they were a thing. And the other team is the people they've been periodically attacking to further their stories. So that would at least make some kind of sense. But instead, you're just going to take 5 random people and 5 random people. I hate that. That's why I don't like Survivor Series. Survivor Series got to get the fuck out of the Big Four, make room for Money in the Bank. Because the 4 best pay-per-views are WrestleMania, number 1 WrestleMania, number 2 Royal Rumble, number 3 Money in the Bank, number 4 SummerSlam.
I would agree with that. That's a solid lineup.
And SummerSlam might have to get the fuck out for TLC.
Very well.
Or Hell in a Cell.
I was able to bring the teams up here.
Okay.
We have, starting with Team Hogan, it looks like he had Randy Orton, his Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley. So, I mean, right there you got a pretty solid front. Nakamura, and then Drew McIntyre.
So Hogan's got the bad guys.
Yeah, more or less.
All right.
Yeah, I think I swapped them. And then you had...
Team Flair is captained by Roman Reigns. Right, it's Roman Reigns and Ricochet are on the team, right?
Let's see here. They showed the picture, and then I think they put the list on backwards. No, you got... Yeah, Ric Flair's got Orton and Nakamura and Lashley. So he's got the bad guys. It makes sense. Dirty's playing the game.
Yep.
Hogan has Roman Reigns. Was it Rusev?
Roman Reigns, Rusev, Ricochet, Shorty G, and Ali.
Yeah, so I think Team Flair's going to win that. No problem.
No, they can't.
Don't think so.
How are you going to put any of those guys clean over Roman Reigns?
I mean, they had... was it Corbin attacked Roman Reigns this past week, Friday night.
But they can't put them clean over Roman Reigns. That's not what WWE does. How many people can you think of that have gone clean over John Cena.